This episode's about buying a boat. I'm not buying a boat. Ryan's buying a boat. But we're going to go look at a boat, and I want to talk to you about what you can expect to do while looking at a boat. Come on. First thing you want to do when going to go look at a boat is do a ton of research. Ryan has been doing an incredible amount of research. Ryan, you've done so much research, the current owner has no idea of how much you know. You've tracked down the previous owner, tracked down the rigger who looked at it because this one doesn't have his mast up. Tracked down, what other stuff did you track down? You got surveys?
Basically that, yeah. I've got a survey. I talked to the previous owner that owned it for 11 years. So I got a lot of history from them.
Yeah, and if they're not trying to sell you the boat, that's the person you want to talk to because they'll tell you all of that boat's sins. And yeah, we're looking for a few sins. This is another Taiwanese boat. For those of you who already watched my channel, I'm fixing up a Formosa 51, a Taiwanese leaky tiki. This one's a leaky tiki, hopefully
not a leaky tiki.
Hopefully not on the leaky side, but we'll find out in a second. They say the best day for a sailor is the day he buys his boat and the day he sells it. Well, today might be the first of those days. Ryan's looking at a Magellan 36, 42-foot overall Taiwanese leaky tiki. Now, the first thing I like to do, and I didn't get to film this, is strut around the decks of the boat in a bad pair of shoes. I want to feel for soft spots. And that's something you can do by just stepping on every square inch of the deck. Now, the problem areas are almost always at the bow, just forward of the cabin structure, but down the scuppers, port and starboard is always a good idea to have a look there as well. It's a ton of work, but it is doable. You just have to make sure that the boat's price reflects that, and that's all we're here to check out. Does the asking price of this boat reflect the amount of work that Ryan's got to do to get it to where he wants it? Screw. You placed a couple of screws in the deck and they've gone through everything and into the ceiling plane.
Yeah, they're longer screws,
Probably.
And like those are, if they're not leaking yet, they're going to leak.
Yeah, but I mean the fact that like
the thing is if it's a solid glass, deck, then you can peel the teak off and just splooge over filler and be done.
and then
It's like just solid.
kiwi grip, right?
Kiwi grip it. If it is. If it's got rotten deck, although I didn't feel any soft spots per se.
I haven't
There's screws through all like this.
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
Just poking through.
They don't really look like they're that drippy though.
No, they also don't
Right
look like they're
now.
that old.
Yeah.
Might be a recent thing.
Like the screws themselves, but there's a bunch
Literally
of them,
tacking.
no bumps
I
or
think,
anything.
like, the best case scenario is that he was seeing the plank of the teak actually pulling up, and he goes, "Oh, I'll just put a screw in that down," but he's not seeing leaking from the other side because it's in solid glass or something.
Yeah.
So you see an empty mast step there that had screws that are only half gone down, and that's right directly behind an electrical panel, right? So, but it's actually not as bad as you would think. And in there, everything seems to be solid around that last step. Oh, hey, look, a hole. There's a little water down there, but every boat's got it.
A little dry rot.
A key part of your research if you're going to go buy a Taiwanese leaky tiki is to watch Captain Ron first and foremost. Okay? Watch that movie and then come shopping. Oh yeah, there's the mast step. That's it. Oh yeah, the muffler's been relocated. Yeah, totally. This is the underside of the cockpit. You can see it's definitely got solid glass on the inside, solid glass on the outside. It's just what's in between the two. That's a good question. But the walls and sides definitely are solid glass. You knock that.
For ventilation. Good. That's nice.
Look at that. That's cool.
Look at that. That's fantastic. I really like that. Oh, hey, look, water.
That stuff's pretty wet. I don't touch it. Another curved one.
Yeah, those are neat.
Cool.
And what about...
Does she not have sails? Really key thing to look at on any boat is the engine. This one's got nice new paint on it, which tells you something. Somebody's given it a paint job. Great. It also says maybe it got a paint job because of a reason. Like maybe it was quite rusty and looked like shit. Maybe there's a lot of oil in the bilge, which there is. And maybe the back side of that head gasket is spewing quite a bit of oil. So maybe somebody took this part, did a job, got it painted nicely, and then, didn't do that great of a job with the head gasket. It's another thing to add to the list. Boat engine likes oil like a sailor likes his rum, right? You know why that is? Nobody really knows. Give it a wiggle. This will be the original bowsprit wood, which mine has got the aluminum change on it, so it's another concern potentially. Alright, we just finished having a look. The owner has stepped off for a second. We have a second to reflect on what we saw.
It's pretty.
It's pretty. It's a pretty boat. I mean, the Taiwanese boats are pretty because they had whole islands in the Philippines worth of teak to completely decimate to make those beautiful boats. The deck has most certainly got plywood in it, but it's encapsulated plywood as opposed to mine, which is open bottom plywood with mahogany beams. There's no beams in this. It's just rigid, which means that the top was made in a form,
right,
and then laid on.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's more work than I expected, but also every single boat is going to be like that too.
Yeah, it's always going to be more. Now the question is it too much or not? So we've got a head gasket failure.
Yeah.
Although the engine runs.
Yeah, that doesn't...
We've got a cord teak deck that definitely has some leaks, but might not be rotten.
That scares me more than the engine. The tank's kind of scary too.
The tank is... That's just the freshwater tank though.
Yeah, we never even saw the diesel tank.
We never even saw the diesel. So, The other thing we got to think about too is like, what do you actually want out of this boat? Do you want to own this boat for the next 10, 15 years, or do you want to own this boat for 2 years? What are you aiming for, right? Because I would suggest the deck's teak probably needs to be peeled and painted and glassed and stuff. Yeah. But that's only if you're going to own the boat for more than a year, which you're planning to.
Which a boat like that I would want to
totally.
own for longer. This next boat that we're going to look at, I could see being a shorter term boat.
Okay, good. Well, it's good to have these things in mind when we go into this because every boat needs a ton of stuff, and you can spend infinite money on boats. There's always more money to spend. The question is what do you actually need to spend on the boat? Don't get too distracted by what you can, because there'll always be more. Don't worry.
There's going to be a big pros and cons list tonight. So when we get back to Perry, a lot of reflection.
We'll finish that up at the conclusion, but for now, let's go look at another boat.
It's got summer plugs. Some are there and some are not.
The teak deck definitely needs some work. But it's nearly a 50-year-old boat. Of course it does. Now, when you're shopping for a boat, especially your first boat, there is a really big pitfall, and that is just you not knowing that much about sailing, about this boat specifically, and you just don't know how it's going to all pan out. So you got to really keep an open mind, and this is a great illustration of this. Ryan came at this looking at full keels, being inspired by my Formosa 51 and wanting something similar. And yet the longer he got into it, the more he looked at it, the more he realized that our two dreams did not line up perfectly, and therefore our two boats shouldn't line up perfectly.
Older than the last boat we just looked at.
This boat's older?
72.
Really?
Or 77.
But it has a reoccurring theme. So we've got a soft spot on the bow deck, just like the other one, which I think is also a problem with all boats, because if you look at the deck, it's quite sloped all the way along, and then right there at the bow, it really flattens out because of the shape of the hull. And so if water does get in, it doesn't get rushed out quite as fast, and that's where the rot happens.
It's literally just there. As soon as you go back just a bit, it's solid.
But condensation like crazy on the inside of this one because it's a lot less insulation than the other one had. It's a much more plasticky boat.
So much more leaning towards the Ericsson than the Magellan.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's got less soul, but
it has way
I think
more
it's a better
soul.
deal.
It's so
I think it's a way better deal.
It's so You're okay with a tiny water tank. You're okay with the galley.
I think it's actually got a 40-gallon aluminum water tank up the front. I didn't see it, but reading through the survey again, I think it's a 6-gallon water heater and a 40-gallon
Does the fact that the
tank.
other boat had, like, in its construction, that insulative foam layer in, like, so you had fiberglass, marine ply, fiberglass, then a foam, then a paneling. Notice there was no condensation in that other boat, and that was like, really? You want to be just a damp little boy?
I mean, they were
just a wet guy.
They were running a heater.
Like,
dude, she's just the moistest of boys.
Like a heater is like, you don't understand the condensation of a plastic boat, right? Like, a heater's not going to do it.
Yeah, wait till you're in there. Yeah. Every breath is going to be another cup of water on that hull.
Like,
breathe out and just watch it.
Yeah, seriously.
And like the Passport has an insulated hull like that too, right? And like Mosh's boat has 0. And notice like I checked under the cushions in the other boat. There's like those were dry cushions. That's a special thing for a boat.
But maybe he's a summertime only sailor. That's a thing to consider.
Like where you're gonna like have a giant storage unit for all of your foam and all of the fabric and all your sheets and stuff. I have a giant storage
unit already.
Yeah.
He does. It literally countered.
Yeah.
You like the Magellan, eh?
If I was choosing between the two boats, it'd be the Magellan for sure.
Magellan.
Yeah.
Erickson.
Gotta think about it though.
I don't know. I feel like
it's just
a soft spot on wood is so much easier to fix than a soft spot on foam and like plastic. With that fiber, like.
It's gonna be at least 10 grand to get this fucking mast back up, I bet. And then you need new sails too.
Yeah.
Like.
That's like 20.
We know that. We haven't seen the sails. And
I guarantee.
The guy selling it goes, I think they're original. You know they're fucked.
I mean,
those things are bagged.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of plastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of plastic for a lot less money.
And the plastic is easier to maintain.
The other guy, I don't know. I think you should lowball the Magellan and see if.
But even if you got them for the same price, that one's done. There's nothing.
Yeah, the Magellan is more boat.
Oh yeah.
Genuinely, you are getting if you can't really say the same price.
Yeah.
Like.
And the Magellan's engine sounded nice, like.
The Magellan's engine's head gasket was puking oil. The Magellan's head gasket. Also, that Yanmar was really low on oil when we fired it up. So we might. Where did the oil go? Well, an engine likes its oil like a sailor likes his rum.
Oh yeah, it's normal. Every engine does it.
Why is that, Captain Ron? Nobody really knows.
What did you think about storage and things and efficiency of the galley and things like that? Like,
it seems fine.
It's worse.
It is. I guess. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's worse.
It's worse. Ice boxes are a little bit traumatic for me, right? Or just like not having
mold
a function.
Boxes.
Mold boxes. Yes, exactly.
That's where you keep all the mold.
That's where you.
A good cheese locker.
I would want refrigeration.
If you like blue cheese.
I wonder what. I didn't look close enough at the compressor that was in there to see like what if it had a tag for like R22 or anything.
It doesn't matter. It sounds like you yanked the compressor anyways.
No, it's in there.
The compressor's still there?
Yeah.
It's probably R22. Yeah. Now as we're driving home, Ryan's thinking deeply about the decision he's got to make, and my tensioner pulley leaves the chat. So here I am in a parking lot with the crew, assembling what we can, some lost bolts, some loose bits, to try and get that pulley back into orientation just long enough to get this rig home. And Ryan's thinking a lot about whether he wants to buy a fixer-upper or a turnkey solution. Now, I really do suggest getting a turnkey solution for most things. I think that 99% of the project boats out there that I see just aren't actually worth it. There's a lot of romanticism and a lot of dream about boats, but if you want to be realistic, you got to value your time and also your money going in. And most people selling boats are losing out on the investment that they've made. No one really makes money flipping boats. It's a very uncommon thing to do. Now, there is such a thing as a coat of paint restoration, which I'm a big fan of, but those are pretty rare. Most of the time, you're looking at some pretty significant structural work. And given that we looked at these masts and they're from two non-matching deck-stepped sloops, they're not designed for this boat at all. They're just two random masts that could be made to work maybe if you did enough modifications to them. I really don't think the Magellan's the move, and I think that this guy should probably let it go for a lot less than he's demanding right now. And that means he'll probably hold on to it for a lot longer until he finally makes that decision. Never know, but we won't really have to find out because it doesn't seem like it's the boat for Ryan. All right, Anwar, we're back on Old Dog. Oh, shit.
Blooper
All right, we're back on perihelion. We got a bottle of rum, and we're going to talk about boats. So we've been on Marketplace for a minute. When you set out, you were looking for what? What were I can't even remember. We've looked at so many damn boats.
Yeah, we've looked at a few boats. I was leaning towards something that was heavy displacement, full keel boat, with the idea that I wanted a house that could also sail.
Right. And like really early on, we looked at a Spencer 35 at the dock. It's like on for a fire sale, solid deck. A little neglected, needs a coat of paint. I said, like, if you can buy a boat that needs a coat of paint, that's the best boat because you're gonna get a hella good deal. People think it's worthless, but like if all the bones are good, if everything's good and all it needs a coat of paint, that's like the best case scenario, right? So like that thing's still for sale now. Probably when this video list, hit me up if you want to line on that one. But like that boat is like 10 grand or best offer, Spencer 35. Fin keel, skeg rudder, or is it a spade rudder? I can't remember.
Happy coconut?
Yeah, Spencer 35. Is it a spade rudder?
Oh, we could look at that.
Anyway,
Sailboat data, every boat shopper's best friend.
but it's a Spencer Mark II. Anyway, the point is that very similar to the last boat we just looked at, the Ericsson.
Yeah,
And you're leaning towards the Ericsson now.
yeah, definitely leaning towards the Ericsson.
And
But
it's so like the journey we've taken
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get right
no,
back where we started.
I remember stepping inside Happy Coconut,
You said
the
it's a Mark
Spencer
II?
35,
Mark II, yeah.
and immediately going, nope, it's not what I want.
Ooh, I would kind of consider that almost 3/4 keel. So sailboat
Really?
data, every boat shopper's best friend. You can see the lines generally, and it has almost every boat
Yeah.
in here. So this has a skegged.
Don't take their layout, by the way, for
No,
granted.
layouts can be
Sailboat
custom.
data always has like whatever layout.
But the fact that the rudder isn't separated from the fin, I would consider
hull.
that from the hull. That is more, I would say, of a 3/4 keel, which is my favorite.
oh my god, you want to buy a Spencer 35 Mark II?
I kind of a Happy Coconut. Should I buy a Happy Coconut?
You should.
You
buy-
should.
Oh my god, that would be
Yes!
But I've been thinking, like, we looked at the Magellan. The Magellan had so many red flags, right? First of all, the fresh coat
Big
of paint
red
on
flags.
an engine that is puking oil.
Yeah.
Like, we had quite a bit of oil coming out that engine.
Yeah.
Probably a blown head gasket.
Hopefully a blown head gasket.
Hopefully
really.
that's it. Yeah, but like, yeah,
But built like a tank.
Built
build like a tank, Taiwanese, throw more fiberglass at it
That
until...
like
There's a huge charm factor,
that wasn't
right?
balsa.
There's a
That was
massive charm
marine
factor.
ply core.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was thick. That
Yeah.
was like 3/4 inch. Like that was like that much.
Like overbuilt the shit. Don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
me wrong.
Yeah, a good looking boat. But for me, it was like we looked at those masts at that guy's property. I think I got like one clip there. But like we looked at the masts and like right away, I could tell they were two different masts from two different boats. They wasn't even like, so they're deck stepped.
What's
the
the
originals were keel
alternative though?
stepped.
What, like you think that they were gonna come off a other? Like,
I was hoping
the
there was a
Magellans-
unicorn that there was like, oh, here's a Magellan we wrecked, but it's got like a perfect mast.
But
We
those
pull it
were-
up, we'll drop them in.
I'm pretty sure all of the Magellans had originally wooden masts
They
though,
did.
so you wouldn't
Would have been
find a
keel.
Magellan.
Well, yeah,
aluminum
you would have
mast.
found
You'd
a
have to make it.
perihelion that got wrecked and had like replacement masts. Like these masts were made for this boat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And that's cool. But that's not what they had. We had two deck stepped masts that from two sloops that did not match at all, and you could surely make it work eventually.
There's hundreds
So much
of
other-
hours of work to make those masts work. So.
Do you
And
notice
then
that
you
there's
had
no
all the other-
condensation in that boat though, due to the thickness of that hull? Like there's
Yeah.
there's a couple green flags in there too. I'm sorry.
A couple green flags, don't get me wrong.
Was this the first boat you looked at?
Yeah.
Oh, not the first.
Not the first one I've looked
No,
at, but the first of the day. We looked at
Okay.
two boats
Yeah.
that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the Magellan versus the Ericsson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and it's an argument between like fin and full, between like charm and weight, and basically what perihelion is, right? This like big, heavy, beautiful,
It was
but so
actually
much work.
insulated though, right? So and that's
Well,
huge.
it was cover boarded.
It was coverboarded.
everything was covered, and we couldn't really get behind
But
some
that
of those covers.
in that section that like or like where the old chimney from the wood stove that where you had that opportunity to see, there was a 1/4 inch of maybe asbestos. We don't know what it was.
Probably
but
asbestos.
Probably asbestos, but it was. That is huge value, and especially if you want to be a liveaboard, like the dampness
For
and
sure,
condensation
for sure.
of living in a plastic boat is.
But counter argument, the Ericsson has a brand new motor.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry about messing around with the engine.
It's a sailboat. Who needs a motor?
You're never gonna get a better deal than when you go to buy the boat the first time. When you buy the boat, that's the best deal you're gonna get. From then on in, it's a rip-off at every turn.
Yeah.
Because marine everything is more expensive and takes more time and more labor and more this, more that. And the labor on the water is also more expensive. So
But someone has done a lot of the labor,
done all
Yep.
the
a
work,
lot of the
done the
expensive
investment.
stuff.
That's the.
And they're losing a ton of money by
and
selling
I'm
it to you
swooping
at this
in
price.
and possibly buying it for this
As
price,
soon as you
so.
stop investing in a boat, it starts to deteriorate, and the Ericsson had work put into it over the last decade where the Magellan had not.
Yeah.
Right, so that is the big key factor, and the fact that the Ericsson is turnkey, you can leave tomorrow if you wanted to.
Yeah,
where
no,
the
it would be
Magellan
turnkey.
would be years of work before it
I'm
was.
3 years in on this one, I gotta tell you. That sounds nice. That sounds real nice.
And a fin keel is the perfect first boat because
Yeah, well,
of its
that's the other thing,
maneuverability.
right? It's the first
right?
boat.
You're gonna have fun sailing it. Like
What does it look like inside?
It's a good layout, and it's a more interesting layout than the Spencer 35 for sure. The Spencer 35 has a couple different layouts. The particular one we looked at was quite cramped and,
It is
and
very
dark.
cramped. Yeah, no, I
and-
remember stepping into the Happy Coconut, the Spencer, and immediately being like, "Nope, I don't want this. I don't like
Turned
it."
his nose up at it right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
Which but
you
it's
should
fun.
go in again.
We should
Maybe,
go in again. Yeah, just have a look.
Is it 35?
It's a 35. Yeah.
It's a small 35 though.
It's a narrow 35.
it feels like a small 35.
But we can tour both of them.
like
There's
a
two Spencer 35s in this bay. We can go in both.
Yeah, the
I
other
don't know
ones
that
have
like that
better
$3,000 Aloha 27 is looking pretty. It doesn't have an engine, but again,
We're getting
it's a sailboat. Who needs an engine?
smaller.
Well, anyway, so if you're interested in a Spencer 35 and you don't mind being a little bit cramped, it's got some nice woodwork in it, and it's got a solid deck and an engine that runs.
Yeah, I mean,
and
solid boat, 3/4
It
keel.
is turnkeel and ugly as sin. Hit me up. I'll sell it to you. For a small commission. Right on. So Ericsson?
I think the Ericsson.
All right, let's buy an Ericsson.
How do you feel about being a boat owner?
Well, hopefully I feel pretty good in the next year or so, and I'm not completely broke. So
Good luck.